The judgment of the High Court suffers from palpable errors of law and appreciation of evidence. All the witnesses had turned hostile, and the conviction of the appellant could not be based upon the sole testimony of a police officer who himself was an interested witness. It is contended that the appellant Govind Raju has been falsely implicated in the case. No independent or material witnesses were examined by the prosecution. Recovery of the alleged weapons of crime have not been proved in accordance with the provisions of Section 27 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 bracket hereafter referred to as the Act bracket close. No Caesar witness was examined, and the statement of the police officer cannot by itself be made the basis for holding that there was lawful recovery admissible in evidence from the appellant. The ocular evidence is not supported by the medical evidence, even in regard to the injuries alleged to have been caused and found on the body of the deceased. The story put forward by PW1 is not only improbable but is impossible of being true. The case of the prosecution is not supported by any scientific evidence. Lastly, it is the contention of the appellant that they were charged with an offence under Section 302, read with Section 34 IPC. The trial court acquitted them. Leave to appeal preferred by the state of the accused, that is, Govardhan, was not granted. Thus, the acquittal of the said accused attained finality. Once the accused Govardhan stands acquitted, and the role attributable to the appellant Govind Raju is lesser compared to that of Govardhan, the present appellant was also entitled to acquittal. The judgment of the High Court thus suffers from legal infirmities. Contra to the above submissions, the learned counsel appearing for the state contended that, as argued, it is not a case of false implication. The area fell within the jurisdiction of PW1, who was the eyewitness to the occurrence. As per the records, the events took place as at 10:55 p.m. The incident took place 11:45 p.m. The first information report within bracket hereinafter referred to as FIR was registered, and at 1:40 a.m. the copy of the FIR was placed before the magistrate, which was duly initiated by the duty magistrate. This proved the truthfulness of the case of the prosecution. The weapons of offence were recovered from the house of the appellant. The Panchas have admitted their signatures, even though they have turned hostile. On the basis of the collective evidence, both documentary and ocular, the prosecution has been able to prove its case beyond any reasonable doubt, and thus the judgment of the High Court does not call for any interference. Keeping in view the submissions made by the learned counsel appearing for the appellant and the state, now we may proceed to examine the first contention. In the present case, the trial court had acquitted both the accused. As already noticed, against the judgment of acquittal, the state had preferred application for leave to appeal. The leave in the case of the present appellant, Govind Raju, was granted by the High Court, while it was refused in the case of the other accused, Govardhan. Thus, the judgment of acquittal in favor of Govardhan attained finality. We have to examine whether the High Court was justified in overturning the judgment of acquittal in favor of the appellant passed by the trial court on merit of the case. The law was well settled that an appeal against an order of acquittal is also an appeal under the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 over.